Welcome, Soul Family. Today we are looking at the personality, career, and love life for Jimin from BTS. If you're new here, this is a channel where we do tarot on celebrities. I do take requests. Please look at the community posts and put your requests there rather than the videos. It is difficult for me to collect them from all the different videos. Spirit, please show us the personality for Jimin. Okay, so here we have as a central personality, we have a Five of Wands. Now, when I looked at this card, when it fell out, I felt, this is a person who is very aware of what people think about him, and it matters to him what people think about him. In the sense, he tends to beat himself down a lot. He tends to overthink. He tends to, he is very empathic in the sense he knows what other people are thinking, and they kind of, what happens is, so even if someone doesn't say something, he knows how they feel, and he can feel the criticism around him tremendously. So I feel he always feels the need to struggle and to be who he is. He feels beaten down. And a person like this, many times he will go through a lot of rebirth, in the sense there is so much of self-reflection that he will keep changing who he is. It's because he is so aware of people around him, and that creates a lot of change inside and causes rebirth over rebirth, in the sense, he constantly changes himself. So the kind of person he is, maybe in every 5 years he'll be kind of, completely different, where he can't even recognize himself. So he's someone who goes through a lot of transformation, mostly because he's very aware of people around him and what they think. He literally, he's an empath, and he literally gets to hear those messages. So he constantly feels the need to push back, to, he has to say what he has to say, and he feels attacked all the time. In his mind, he feels attacked a lot of time. But a lot of that is also in the past, from his past influences. Maybe he had a critical family, maybe he had perfectionist parents, maybe he had this feeling of he was not enough. So he's gone through a lot of that mental, mental, I won't say trauma, but a lot of stress mentally in the past, because of that, because of maybe the family he's come from, maybe obviously being idle, you do go through these kind of things. It's very intense environment, but that's in the past. In the future, I see a brighter future for him, where he's going to be more strategic about what he's planning to do. In the sense, he has plans for his future, and he's much more calmer, much more wiser, and he has a lot more experiences coming up in the future, and he's going to do them not the way he did in the past. It's going to be different. In terms of identity, we have Two of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. So he's a very practical guy, a very practical guy who constantly doubts himself. He doesn't charge into situations. He doesn't, he always will assess every situation before going into it. Very, very practical, very, very grounded. He takes his steps wisely. Like, he's a planner, definitely planner, definitely much more organized. And every step is very steady. A lot of desire to travel. He wants to see the world, he wants to experience the world. He has love for animals, and he connects to animals very well for some reason. Even horses, things like that, he's very connected to them. I don't know, I just got the feeling when I saw the card. He's a very dependable guy. I mean, in the sense, he's not someone who will just change his mind and, go and do something out of the blue. He is dependable. In the public, he has a lot of love for the public. His heart is overflowing. So I think his public image is very good. He genuinely loves the performance and being on stage, and the connection to people is very important to him. With the public, I've got the Ace of Cups. This is public persona. And in private, he's a collaborator. He's, again, we have Three of Pentacles. In private, he's learning, he's collaborating, and most probably even teaching other people. People see and learn a lot from him. He is a very friendly collaborator, in the sense he will pass on his knowledge and what he knows very easily. I think a lot of people learn from him. I really don't know that because I don't know much of his. This was a request which had come in. When I saw this guy, this is under one of his greatest fears. He fears he's never going to be happy. He fears he's never going to have carefree days again in his life. He fears he's not going to have those simple joys which he used to have when he was a child. When he was a child, he fears those days will never come again. It's one of his desires to be responsibility free. He doesn't want to carry the responsibility he carries. In terms of what he really desires in life, he wants family. He wants obviously good amount of money, good amount of family. He desires it all. We have the Ten of Pentacles. He desires a very happy life, a fulfilling life. He desires all of it, and he desires continuation of his line. That is what I would say. I think he desires to have a strong family ahead of him. That is what I would feel. So yeah, that is his personality in short. And we'll go to his career next and see how that goes. Okay, in his past, this is like way in the past. He was planning for some other career. Actually, he never planned to be a K idol, or in K-pop. I don't know what he had actually planned to do in his life, but this came as a big change in him, and he was alone. I felt very lonely in his past in his career, and a lot of problems. He went through a lot of issues, and he dealt with them alone. And he even if and suddenly I mean he had all these changes, but on his own he achieved whatever he wanted to achieve, and he was very happy. And in his whole career, if you see, this is more towards the immediate past where I have the sun, while the death card is like way in the past. So in his let's say the last few years have been very, very happy for him, being the part of the group he is in, and before he was in BTS. he he felt very alone before that. And in his present, we have the Three of Cups, we have the High Priestess, and we have the Three of Wands. So I think he's celebrating now, he's collaborating, he is working together for some new venture. A lot of it is secret, is not really revealed to the world, and what he's still working on. There is some secret project he's working on. And again, we have the Three of Wands, so it's a lot of planning is going into that. So in the present, he's very happy collaborating. I think there's some new collaboration coming, which we don't really know about who it is, but it will be revealed soon to the world on when it does release or whatever it is. So we see that in the present, a lot of work is going on. But in the future, in his career, we have the Ten of Swords, and then we have the Eight of Pentacles, and then we have the Tower moment. So the future is not looking that great for him. Some external event is going to happen where he feel his foundation is shook. I don't know what that is, and it's obviously some sort of betrayal also is coming for him in the future. Maybe the people who he trusted have not delivered on their promises. It could be something like that. Even though he feels betrayed by them initially, he still continues to work with them. And after that, we have the Tower moment, where the final thing, he's going to leave his house. He's going to abandon where what he's going to finally leave, I feel, because of some external event. He will have to leave whatever, what he considers as home. So I really don't know what the present status is of BTS and who he's working with, who Jinmin is working with. But the future doesn't seem to be, he's not going to be where he is. He's going to be in some other different situation. Even though all of that, he still has a lot of money flowing towards him. That's all I can say. Even though these things are there, maybe coming in his career, I see a lot of his work is going well. He's working on himself, and I do see money flowing into him. You know, but when this tower car happens, only when it happens, we will know what exactly it is. So that was for his career. Now let's look at his love life. All right. In his past, we have the Chariot, we have the Six of Cups, and we have the Queen of Pentacles. So I feel the most he had love and affection for somebody who he knows from a very young age. Maybe like, when they were school or high school, like that. He's had strong people in his life who have influenced him in a, in a very strong way. I would say that, yeah. Uh, I don't know why my eyes went to these symbols actually. A lot of his love came from his love of music. The people he, liked came from music. That is what I felt. There's also someone he had a crush on long time back, basically who he knows for a very long time from his childhood. And then there were two other people. But it was not like, he was in love with them. It could be, I would say, strong influence on him more than actual love. In the present, we have the King of Cups, we have the Ace of Swords, and we have the Knight of Cups. So, Jinmin seems to be a very emotional guy, or he gets attracted to people who are very emotional. Now, even though we have King and Knights, that doesn't necessarily mean they are of the masculine gender. I will not, there is no surety of that in tarot, because it is more of energy rather than a person as such. So I see there are two people actually. One is the King of Cups and one is the Knight of Cups. Two very emotional people in his life right now. And it could be anyone. It's not necessarily has to be any of the BTS members or anybody. This person could be very, very well in his circle who works with him. Not in terms of, the members, but the people who work outside, the staff or anybody like that, or people he knows through some connection or not. So there is a King of Cups and there's a Knight of Cups, two people who he is interested in. With the Ace of Swords between both of them, Jinmin is a person who needs a lot of intellectual compatibility. As I said, he's a person who thinks a lot, and he needs not only emotional support, he needs a person who thinks a lot, who can understand his intellect. So I think it's not that he's seeing any one of them, but these two people are there in his life who have tremendous emotional influence on him. In his future, we have the Queen of Swords, the King of Wands, and then we have the Nine of Swords. So again, there is no future definitive falling in love situation, because there are just these people who have influence on him. I would say that. I don't think he's dating anybody as such. I see a woman and a man maybe coming into his life, and they cause him sleepless nights where he's worried. Anxiety, because the Nine of Swords is basically anxiety. It could be these kind of people who are opposing each other, who are on different paths, and he wants both of them to be happy. So he kind of gets anxious about it. So in his love life, I don't feel he's seriously dating anybody as such at the moment. Yeah. And this was the reading, and I hope you all enjoyed it. And if you all are as fans as are me, please don't come behind me. This is just the tarot as it falls. I read it, and that's it. Thank you so much. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Bye bye.